Welcome back to Before the Bounce. We've got On The Couch. Ando's not here, so I'm taking over his segment tonight, getting the call up off the bench. With me tonight as well is my co-host for night in Troy Menzel. Mate, how have you found it so far tonight, mate?
Nah, it's been good, mate. We've got the trivia going on in the background, which is a bit of buzz, but it's been really good. Enjoyed it. Absolute banger of a song on now as well. But I've got to thank Rachel Laurie from Ray White, North Adelaide, for sponsoring us as well. Big supporter of the show. Sponsors over 13 clubs around Adelaide and South Australia as well, from Port Adelaide Footy Club, Adelaide United, all the way to grassroots. So fantastic supporter. So thanks to Rachel, mate. I've spoken to you about this before. It's a fantastic story. You're a junior. You play all your footy at Central Districts. You get the call up to play your first league game at 16. Do you remember the day? Yeah, I do. I remember it quite vividly, to be honest. I was playing Resi's all week, and it was Friday night for our captain's run, and I think I rocked up to training, and Roy pulled me aside and said, there's a bit of a question mark over Paul Thomas tonight. If he gets through training, you'll play twos. If he doesn't get through training, you're playing league. So didn't have much time to digest it. Went into the reserves meeting, and about 2 minutes into the meeting, Tomo doesn't sound no good. So straight up I went, and I probably had about 12 hours to mentally prepare for playing my first league game.
Do you think that helped with your preparation, or would you have liked to have known early in the week?
No, I'd say at that stage at 16, I was probably definitely helped. I used to get quite nervous before footy games, so I reckon the last minute knowing of it probably helped me quite a bit. Probably
helped, mate. In that first game, where'd you line up? Were you on a wing?
I started on the bench. We were playing Eagles. It was actually Anzac Day, so it's a pretty special day to debut, and came on and slipped into a half-forward flank, I reckon. I actually lined up on my home group teacher at school at the time I was playing league for Eagles, so it's a pretty funny story.
No, it's fantastic, mate. And from there, obviously, went to the under-18 championships. You had a few battles with knees. You did ACL as well, but you got to the championships, and you end up, really putting your name up in lights, really.
Yeah, it was good to go through that system, and I think I played 3 games in the championships, and then I managed to perform quite well in those games, and it was good that a lot of recruiters were out there at the time to see that.
Well, and that's it. As a 17-year-old at the time, what is it like going to, that you're going out to these facilities, and you got people there judging you on every little thing you do?
Yeah.
Is it daunting as a 17-year-old?
Absolutely it is, yeah. You get told that recruiters will pick on everything and every little thing, so you sort of are. When you travel interstate, you stay at the same hotels as the recruiters, and by then you see them about, so you know who they are. So you're definitely on your best behaviour, that's for sure.
And mate, you end up gets the draft night. A lot of murmurs around, a lot of articles at that stage. Probably you probably the second best player in the draft. Thought you were going to go pick 2. You just slid out to pick 11 at Carlton. Did you expect to go to Carlton?
It was funny. Carlton were one of the only teams that I guess I didn't think really had any interest. So you go into draft night, and you hear a lot of different things. This club says, we'll take you if you're here, we'll take you if you're here. But you take that as a grain of salt. You never know what's going to happen. And when Carlton's pick came around, I really had no idea that I was going to be called out then, but it was definitely a big relief when they called my name out, for sure.
Mate, at Carlton, who's the first person that you spoke to after Carlton picked you up?
Who was the first person? So I was up at the draft, and the head recruiters, up in the Gold Coast, and the head recruiters are up there, so spoke to all of them, but then got a number of messages from all the boys at Carlton, so it was pretty, as a 17, 18-year-old, it was pretty cool to have Mark Murphy and Bryce Gibbs and all these message you on your phone. You felt pretty cool at that moment, for sure.
And obviously your coach, when you get there as a 17-year-old, you got to front up to Mick Malthouse, who I know just watching him was in his press conferences towards the end was scary enough. What was that like?
Yeah, I probably had a bit of a soft spot for Mick because I was a Collingwood supporter growing up. But you see him in the media and in his press conferences, and I guess the way he's portrayed is quite serious and intimidating person, but You get to meet him and he's the complete opposite. Really, really good people person. I know even lately there's been a bit of bad media about him from past players and all that, but I'm a massive advocate of Mick. I had a really good relationship with him and I got along really well from him and learned a lot from him.
That's fantastic, mate. Didn't take too long to get your first AFL game. How did that come about?
Yeah, we again, it was probably a bit lucky. We were playing Port at Etihad and I was playing as a small forward in the reserves, and I think Chris Yarran, Jeffy Garlett and Eddie Betts were all out that week with injuries. So kind of at the start of the week thought I might be a bit of a sniff here, and come Wednesday, Thursday, Mick let me know that I was going to be playing my first game. So it was a pretty special week.
You got a snag as well and didn't mind it?
Not in that game, second game.
Game.
I actually came on as a sub in my first game. So.
No, you got it in the second game. Beautiful, mates, as well. Go on to play 40 games at Carlton, and interesting story. I'm a big fan of it, but you just signed a new deal, probably didn't expect to be traded, had the feet up in Bali, and how did the trade actually come about?
Yeah, it was, exactly. I just signed I think the year before I signed a 3-year deal, so I had 2 years left on my contract, and went away to Bali, spoke to my manager before I went away. Nah, nothing to worry about, mate. Enjoy your holiday. And about two days into 8-day trip, get a message from him. Hey mate, can you call me as soon as you wake up? Might be a trade going on. And yes, it was a bit of a surprise to me. And then Adelaide had shown interest, and Carlton thought they could get a good return off of it. So I think in a space of about 24 to 48 hours, I was back on a plane in Adelaide doing a medical when I 100% wasn't expecting it at all. But once the trade did go through, I said the only team I'd ever come back to or play for in Carlton was Adelaide. Clearly because I had family back here and friends back here, so I was happy with the trade that it went through, and I enjoyed my time at Adelaide.
Yeah, so you talk about that. You come to Adelaide, and one thing we've probably spoken about in the media, or to the average person that probably doesn't understand your story, gets spoken about a bit. But the question that on everyone's lips is, did you regret taking that trade to Adelaide?
Yeah, I've been asked that a lot, and I've
plenty of times.
It has come up a few. But I always say, look, I don't regret my decision. I've learned a lot from my footy journey, and at that time in my second year there, Adelaide played in the grand final, and everyone wants to be the best footballer they can be, and to be that best footballer, I wanted to play in the best team and compete against the best players to play in the best team. So to have that shot and play 4 games that year for him meant that I was able to match it with the best. So it's definitely something that I don't regret, for sure.
No, absolutely, mate. And just to be around a club that is thriving like that, what was that like? Obviously, you're still only, 22 at that stage, so still young in terms of footy, but must have been a massive buzz to be around a club.
Yeah, it was. It was the feeling around the club was fantastic. Not even around the club, just around Adelaide. You'd have supporters who are always really excited to run into you and all that. So it was a great feeling, and it was a really good year, 2017.
Yeah, mate, and obviously got delisted. As part of ways at the end of the year, and then that was 18, and then end of 17, and then decided to just probably have a year of not taking it so seriously, and headed out to Tea Tree Gully with a couple of mates. So what made you head out there?
Yeah, it was probably I just wanted to enjoy my footy again. Probably take all the past 5 years of professionalism and seriousness out of it, and just really go out there and enjoy footy. And I had some really good schoolmates who played out at Tea Tree Gully, so I found that was going to be the best fit for me to enjoy footy, and went out there and I had one of the best years of footy that I've played in. So we did end up winning a flag, which was something special. But yeah, I had a great year out there.
It's fantastic. The boys are in a bit of strife this year. The boys, obviously, that happens when your clubs win flags, but you still take an interest in how they're going?
Yeah, absolutely. I follow them pretty closely each week. They've lost quite a few numbers from last year, but yeah, hopefully they'll recruit very well next year and be back up there. And
mate, this year, back out to the Doggies, where it all started. Was there interest to go out to other SANFL clubs, or you always had Doggies in mind?
It was always pretty set that it was going to be Centrals. Growing up, I was a Collingwood supporter, but I was more a Central supporter. They were my main team, so when I was able to play juniors through them and sample through them, that was probably the one club that I really, really had a soft spot for. So there was never really an argument of me going anywhere else. It was always going to be Centrals.
Beautiful, mate. And Boys, they're struggling this year. Obviously, Roy Laird, your coach, he's left a massive legacy behind at the Doggies.
Yeah, it's fantastic to see what Roy has done for the footy club. It's been very special, so hopefully we can send him off well in the last few games.
No, and hopefully go well and lead into next year. Mate, thank you for joining me. You got to stick around because you've got to host the rest of the show
Absolutely.
with me. But ladies and gentlemen, Troy Menzel, ex-Carlton and Crows player from the Central Districts Footy Club, brought to you by Rachel Laurie in North Adelaide. So if you're selling, make sure you go down and have a chat to Rachel Laurie. But stay tuned, got lots more before the bounce. Don't forget, find us on Facebook at the South Australian Footballer, Piranha Media. You can find us at our YouTube channel as well, the SA Footballer TV, for all content around South Australian football, all our magazines, and especially before the bounce each week. With over